just another tool of the establishment just to bring us down. They say we gotta use them, but who are they? Well, they want to control us with their condoms, but not me, man, because I ain't wearing one and letting...
Chic, use one or get none.
Well, these are cool. I mean, I'd use them. I'd like them and I'd use them all the time.
Chic, get some.
Thank you, Mr. Chic.
Special this event they're at the Olympics.
Hey, yo.
Oh my God.
Where the hell did you get that? What was that?
Yo, mama sent it to me, brother. Your mama sent it to me, motherfucker.
I think that precedes the other one there, Jeff. I think that's the predecessor to that one.
That's a new event. They're at that Olympics this year. They have a new event.
Because that one guy is doing it in public, though, too. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, you mean the poster guy?
Yeah, the poster guy. He's doing it in public, though. That's his. It's the public version.
Oh shit! What's this about?
He gave that fucking down like, "What's up, dude?"
Did you see that guy? Did you see him down to that dude? He totally down his head of the dude. He gonna buy him.
Bro.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Cyber, nah, bruh. Nah,
brah.
Andre, sir, the floor is yours.
Okay, good, because I was just worried about that. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our spectacular tricky game / movie review live stream for Fridays. This is your first time true moderator, Andreas, Pop Culture Guy. Today, I'm with three awesome and wonderful and beautiful men. Jeff S. TrueKnowledge, Chris, Superhero Slate, and Cyberneticshark.
How do you know Chris isn't some fucking like keeps chicks in dungeons or some shit? We don't know, bro. Just because he's from Superhero Slate, and he's just like a nice guy.
I know that, but so Chris, I just want to let you know I'm a time travel. I'm a doctor, time lord, and so I know you're a man because I met one of your ancestors in the year 2099. So I know you're a man. So that's why I say beautiful man in this panel. So
I love being beautiful. So thank you.
He has a beard. He has a beard, sir. He's got a beard. I hope he's a man.
We're all men and we have beards. I mean, sort of. I mean, goatee, or whatever you want to call beards. Anyway,
this is going off to a wonderful start. Folks, we're not stepping in here for Andre's Pop Culture Guy. I had his first moderating here of the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. It's on him. So if there's awkward, silences or freezes or whatever, we're just going to hang out and, chill and try to look pretty. That's the good thing. Chris is here for that. Andres has already asserted that he's a man. We figured out he's a man. So that was quick. Andres went frozen mode pretty quick there.
That was pretty quick.
Only Andres on his first time moderating would go into frozen mode completely right from jump.
Yep.
You think his face is red? You think he's a little flustered?
I don't know.
Right
I'm wondering what he's thinking. Yeah, like what he's doing right now. He's probably freaking out.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him, to be honest with you. He's probably tripping.
Yeah, it's fine. Things happen. We're at the fault of technology here, but
he's already nervous. So now he's really nervous.
He literally was kicked from the Matrix. Like someone must have unplugged him.
Yeah, it was a sign.
Yeah.
Andres, the Matrix says you're not supposed to moderate tonight, sir. It's against you.
Oh, that's a good one to freeze on too.
Did you freeze again?
Did you freeze during middle finger? Hey, you know what? On one hand, that sucks that you froze again because that's not a good sign for your Wi-Fi tonight. But on the other hand, and I wasn't planning on having to moderate, so I'm gonna be pissed if I actually do. Considering how confusing the movie was, I'm gonna be pissed. but I'll make it work. But I'm amazed that you managed to be frozen with your middle finger extended.
Right over his eye, too. Look like he's poking his eye out with it.
That is a wonderful shot. That is great.
I think that's a perfect time for another video, such as the P Diddy juice.
Andres, do you need a sip of P Diddy juice, sir?
No. Let's do not show that clip. Do not show that clip, folks. Do not show that clip. I don't care how much it makes Jeff, not Jeff, Cyber laugh so hard. Anyway, sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. The Matrix is trying to kick me out. Shame on you, all right? I'm doing this for you guys, okay? Matrix. Anyway, so let me get on.
Oh, third I'll call you are Iceman, sir.
Thank you. I'm not Iceman anymore. Yes. Can I be Goose?
Well, I guess
you
only do have a limited time here, so yeah, you can be Goose.
You can be anything you want, sir. Maybe we'll actually role play out. We'll act out the whole film. Like instead of like reviewing it, we'll act out the film and like play different characters.
The Matrix or Top Gun?
Matrix 4.
Okay, because I was like, do I gotta like do the shirtless beach volleyball on here? Because that's not what I signed up for.
Well, we can add the naked the nude beach volleyball scenes to the Matrix.
Okay.
Skit.
Yeah.
Now he's frozen with full arm extension, like he's giving somebody a hug. We love you too, Andres. I want to hug you too, baby.
Poor little fella.
I'd give you a hug too, bro.
I mean, this is a good time for a video, I think.
Folks, this is a Kodak moment right here. Andres, the pop culture guy, is moderating his first ever show with the MCU'S Bleeding Edge in his year plus of tenure with us, and he is having the Matrix literally has shut him down. They've locked him out from StreamYard tonight. So I'm not sure what we're gonna be able to get from him. It's gonna be tough sled for him moderating. We'll have to see how it works out. Let's see if he even comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you gotta jack out of the Matrix.
Maybe it's the curse of Jersey, the Jersey curse.
Maybe.
You never know. Maybe the Aqua Teen Hunger Force is outside fucking with his antenna for his Wi-Fi or some shit.
Or Rick and Morty.
There you go. Well, no, if Rick was there, you think he would already figured out the Wi-Fi shit by now.
Well, that is true.
Anyways, folks. Go ahead, Chris.
He did say he was from the future, so I guess maybe.
Well, I mean, if he's from the future, you'd think that. I mean, I'm not going to go there, but he is from the future. He goes by many names: Time Cop, Time Lord, Dark Lord. I didn't know he was a doctor until today. He's many things, depending on the day of the week. Also has many different favorites of things. Changes his favorites quite a bit, I'd say, right, Cyber?
I would say so.
I've never seen some people have so many different favorites in the same favorites. In the meantime, folks, this is a very awkward start I've ever had. This is the most awkward start of a Wii review or show I think we've ever had on the Bleeding Edge.
That's my fault. That's me. It's my face.
No, it's not. It's not. Oh no, sir. You're holding us up right now. We already lost. Our audience would have already gone down by now if not for you. You're holding it down.
All right.
Oh, he froze right there. Okay. I love it. I'm playing a trailer to see.
Yes, play
a trailer. I got to talk to Andres and figure out what we're doing here because if I'm. All right, folks, we're pressing reset right now. After that trailer, the Matrix glitch is over. I'm Jeff S, aka TrueKnowledge. I ain't got no poster behind me like usual to point up at and whatnot, but I am the co-host and creator of the MCU'S Bleeding Edge channel podcast. We were having Andres, the pop culture guy, who all of y'all are very familiar of, moderate Matrix 4 review this evening. He's obviously having some massive Wi-Fi issues that he's ever had before, since we've ever known him. All of a sudden tonight, for some reason. So, just to get rid of all this awkwardness and finally get the show going, and actually start entertaining some of y'all. And I'm just trying to call me right now, like I can actually talk during the live stream. I'm going to go ahead and take over until he gets his Wi-Fi straightened out and comes back, and hopefully can finish up the show on his own and moderate. In the meantime, Chris, welcome to the MCU'S Bleeding Edge.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This has been an adventure so far, and I'm enjoying every second of it.
I'm glad you are, sir. I'm not, to be completely honest with you. It's only funny for so long. We're at the 13-minute mark of the show, and nothing has been accomplished at all. I'm just now introducing you. That's not exactly typical for us. Either way, thank you for slogging it out with us. You know, we all have technical difficulties, and obviously Andres is having some serious ones. So I'm sure, hopefully he'll get it straightened out. I'm sure he will. He doesn't usually have these problems. Cyber, you were having some Iceman issues way back months ago, but other than that, we really don't have these issues usually. Anyways, Cyberneticshark, my co-host, is with me on the panel tonight. Supposedly joining with me and Chris. Although it looks like my role's getting reversed over to moderator tonight. Cyberneticshark is doing an hour with us. Sir, are you ready to kick some Matrix 4 ass for an hour? Less than an hour now?
Of course I am. Woohoo!
Jeez, Andre's already shed 15 minutes of your hour off, man. Fuck.
No.
That's valuable time. That's valuable time when it comes to your contributions on the panel. Anyways, folks, we are wrapping up the Matrix. What would you call it? It's not a trilogy when you have 4 movies. What is
Quadrilogy?
Quadrilogy. Thank you, guys. The Matrix Quadrilogy we are wrapping up this evening. So the War Matrix that I can think of as of tonight. This is Matrix 4, Matrix Resurrections. We've already done the first 3 films, our last review. We appreciate all of you out in the audience. We'll deal with our plugs and all that stuff and whatnot, and all that at the end of the show. We don't worry about that now. All I will say is consider liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. We appreciate your support if you enjoy the show and what we do. If not, then don't hit that shit. It's your call. I don't blame you if you don't want to subscribe. In the meantime, let's get this review going. Let's fucking get after it. So, Chris is from the Superhero Slate Podcast. Chris is a first-timer on the Bleeding Edge. So, again, thank you, Chris. We appreciate you coming on and doing Matrix 4 with us, right? I didn't realize we're going to end up as a group of 3, but here we are. So you're holding it down. What is your familiarity with the Matrix 4, Chris? How many times have you seen it? And what was your take on it the first time that you saw it?
So I would say 2 things. One, you just played the trailer, and remembering back the Jefferson Starship White Rabbit song that played in that trailer was one of my #1 played songs for the year 2021, simply because it's just so good. It was just so good. That's the first memory I have of the Matrix Resurrections. The second, I remember this coming out on Max for free at the end of the month, right? Or at the end of the year. It was one of those last movies they slotted in. It'll be in theaters and on Max. And like probably 99% of the people who watch this, that is the only time I remember watching it. Because it was free. It was end of the year. Movies weren't in theaters like en masse yet. I think Spider-Man No Way Home had just hit theaters, I think, in December of that year as well. So really overshadowed by everything kind of going on with it. And much like the movie itself kind of states, the first I would say third of the movie, they say this movie, we don't want to make it, but Warner Brothers says if we don't make this movie, they're going to take it out of our hands and make their own. And that's just kind of how it kind of feels like. I just feel like I watched a movie somebody had to make rather than what they wanted to make. So that's my first remembering this movie from 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago.
Okay. Cyber, same question.
Same thing. I saw it on HBO Max when it got released on HBO Max back in 2021. And I've probably seen it now maybe 3 or 4 times since it came out over the last 2.5, almost 3 years since it's been out. And I enjoyed it when I first saw it. So, I thought, why not give it a try again? And so rewatching it today, it was kind of funny because I was like, wow, I forgot about that part. So it's kind of like, it was kind of a nice refresher to see it again. Because even though, this film isn't the best of the series, and it's very different because they went a whole new kind of route by changing the characters of Morpheus and having all these new people and stuff like that. It definitely is a soft reboot, I feel. So definitely a not a bad experience, not the great experience, but overall I enjoyed it.
Hundreds of pop culture guys, sir, are you with us?
Private chat.
Okay, be right back. All right, no problem. Anyways, so I will say that this is my first watch of The Matrix 4 today. I found it confusing, although I quickly watched some videos on New Rockstars and Screen Crush and stuff like that just to catch up and try to tighten up and understand the overall structure of the film before we got going. So I have somewhat of a clue as to what goes on, but you guys can feel free to help me out as we go. There he is. Hey, Andres.
Hey. So, sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
That's okay, sir. Let's just see if we can keep you not Iceman for like 15, 20, and then I'll throw the moderation back to you. I was just asking everybody else, how many times have you seen The Matrix 4? And then what were your thoughts the first time you saw it?
You got 10 seconds out of him. That's pretty good. That's a new record for the show today.
I'll talk for Andres. Well, it might take a long time. Just be prepared. This could be a long, I put 10 minutes. I put 10 minutes of 1 minute short video clips from an Acolyte episode review of us from the show on TikTok today. 5 of them were Andres talking out of the 10 during his turn to talk on the panel. All five full videos are of him talking. So I'm going to do this is me for Andres. Well, I saw The Matrix. All the Matrixes several times. One time in the year 2077 with Angela Bassett and Vice President Dolph Lundgren and President Jean-Claude Van Damme. I thought it was very good. In the year 2077, not so good in real time. But I watched it today and now it's my favorite or second favorite movie of all time, forever. Until next week on Monday, when I'm also going to pick new favorite top 1 and 2 and 3 films of all time. There you go. There's my favorite, my best Andres. I can't impersonate Andres. Nobody can. Anyways, Andres, this is wonderful, sir. I'm sorry that I'm laughing at the situation, but it's very funny. So, only on the bleeding edge, folks. Only for Andres. All right, so The Matrix 4 basically starts off 60 years, if I understand correctly, after the end of the third Matrix film, right? Revolution.
60 real world years.
Yes.
Which is only like 20 Matrix years.
Okay, I didn't know that there was a difference in the conversion.
Yeah, because I think even like the original movies kind of say like, we don't know what year it is outside because they keep rebooting the Matrix. And
I never thought about that. Yeah, that's true. So of course time would potentially be different.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, and you wouldn't have set dates. Oh, you know what, folks? The drinking game is you know what? I appreciate that. The drinking game is on. All right. So it's it's my responsibility now to maintain it. Our drinking words. I can say them safely right now. Trinity, Neo, Machines, any variation. Zion, any variation. Smith, Agent Smith, any variation. The Matrix 2, any way of saying it. You're fucking drinking. There you go. Let's get after it. All right. Now the drinking game words are enforced and engaged. And if anybody feels the need to drop the drink word on anybody at any given time to make sure that we're handling our business, please do. Good job, Chris. Keeping us on point. Keeping us on point.
This is serious business. We're doing it.
No, hey, there's nothing better than trying to moderate half-ass a show with no outline because you weren't going to moderate it, and then also playing drinking games where you usually always get intoxicated every time, right? And fall off throughout the show and like go to shit, right, Cyber? So it should be wonderful. This should work out great actually.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and prop myself on Superhero Slate. We just create a spreadsheet of bullet points and we just wing it every week. So we are like, I'm professional winging it. So whatever you need, you just say, Chris, say something, go, and we got it.
You told me that, and I complimented you for telling me that. I like that saying. I like that. I like that. That's actually really cool. But no, you know what? Actually, we embrace our shit show specials here, Chris. This one looks like it's going to. This one looks like it's heading in that direction, obviously. So we do embrace them, and usually they end up being pretty fun shows. But they are shit show specials. So, folks, we're in that territory. It's been a while, right? Just like Cyber, I realized my biological clock for some fucked up guest experience. We're about due for one. Things have been too harmonious for a while. We're due for some guest to come on and do something really fucking stupid soon. It's time, sir. It's coming. Unfortunately, the clock is ticking. I can tell. I can feel it inside. So just be prepared, sir. And things have been way too harmonious. Too much laughing, too much happiness, too many good shows. You know. So, anyways, so The Matrix 4 basically starts off very confusingly. Well, not confusingly, I'd say to start off, but it starts off with some blue-haired chick that I thought maybe might have been an extra from the Acolyte, to tell you the truth, right? That went back in time and joined the Matrix 4, right? Why she had to have blue hair, I don't know. And her name is Bugs, which I really could not take seriously from jump. Like, seriously, your name is Bugs? I mean, I've got my notes right here. Bugs? Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, it's a double entendre, though, because she says it's named after Bugs Bunny, which is the white rabbit, which is a throwback to that.
It is.
But also computer bugs, because Andres is having
Yes. It just sounds like the name they would give like a 90s hacker character or something in a 90s internet movie or whatever they call them, Bugs. Yeah. But either way, my notes are great. I should start reading them on every show. I've read them on Joey's show last night, Cyber, and my notes are hilarious. You know how I note stuff. Like just like my titles of my videos, sir.
Yeah.
So like I start off with the movie in my notes. Why does this bitch have blue hair? Is she from the Acolyte? Bugs, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? What the fuck is happening? What's the deal with the agent? He's Morpheus? Now they're hugging? There you go. Just to give you the impression of like where I was at with the film so far, right at the beginning. Thankfully, Andres did help me out a little bit with some scenes I can play to guide me along with my moderation of the introduction of the film. So thank you, Andres, for that. That's way after the actual intro. Not way after, but it's after the intro. Basically, the synopsis from Wikipedia says that a young woman named Bugs learns the Matrix is running old code in a loop, enacting the moment when Trinity first found Neo within the Matrix. Bugs discovers a program embodying Morpheus and helps free him from the simulation. Thomas Anderson is the creator of a video game series called The Matrix, based on his faint memories as Neo, as you saw in that clip there. At a coffee shop, he regularly encounters Tiffany, a married mother with no recollection of her past, on whom Anderson based the game character Trinity. Anderson has created a simulation called a Modi to develop game characters. He struggles to separate perceived reality from dreams, a known concern among his coworkers and partner. Thomas, psychoanalyst, prescribes him blue pills that he takes each day to suppress the occurrences, but he stops taking them, as you saw there. Meanwhile, as Bugs and Morpheus work to extract Neo from the Matrix, Anderson's business partners regains his memories as Agent Smith, Neo's former nemesis, which I really didn't understand how that works out. But I'll stop there. Now, before we get to the part of the film where Neo actually gets awakened from the pod, and actually we get we relive the original, yes, I'm going to say it just so we can drink, Matrix film moment, right? I'll go to you first, Chris. What are your thoughts on the premise of the introduction of the film? I left out a lot of stuff, obviously, on purpose for you guys to fill in the gaps, so feel free. Anything that's important that I skipped, feel free to throw it in there. But what are your thoughts on that segment of the film? Anything specific that, that really, I know you really like the music. I know you really like that song, and you like the White Rabbit deal and whatnot, and the tattoo and all that. Yeah. I was just messing with you on the Bugs character. She's actually a solid character in the film. Yeah, no. I mean, it's fine. I mean, like I said, it's my background's in film studies, right? So like I'm looking at this the first time as a fan of the Matrix. Like it was like the first DVD I ever bought was The Matrix, and I feel like that's very fitting of the Matrix in and of itself. That's two drinks. That's two drinks. We'll just start tallying them. We're gonna need them after this little paragraph here. You're making me multitask, sir.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. If only we had Andres. But anyway, so the movie to me, and we'll talk about it, kind of falls into three separate categories. There's a first act, a second act, and a third act. The first act is entirely unrelated to the awakening. It's about an hour in is where he awakens. You mentioned. So we want to talk about that first hour. That first hour is really, to me, a jab at the movie making industry through the eyes of the film and like making a video game. Because one of the key things is they're saying the Matrix is now a video game in this world, right? It's not a movie. They made it into a video game. So like that's way different than like I never would have thought they would have done that. That's kind of unconventional to say it's a video game, but I know that's
it also contradicts what the analyst or whatever supposedly wants to do with Neo anyway. Why wouldn't he want to suppress any memories he would have of the M? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why would he encourage or allow? You know what I mean?
Well,
you see what I'm saying, though, and to manifest his memories like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe that maybe it's one of those things, and they talked about later. It's like the harder you fight them, the more they push back. So if you give him a little bit of a creative outlet, even though it's very contained, he feels like he's satisfying that need for the M word that he's drawn to. So maybe it's in there. It's not explicitly explained. You're absolutely correct. But to me, the first thing is very jabby. It's like, hey, is Morpheus one? Not Morpheus. Neo's one of the words, but that's two there. Hey, you don't want to remake this video game. You don't want to go back into it. But the people upstairs say you got to make a sequel. You got to make a fourth one, despite everything that you want to do. And we're gonna make it one of the most painful experiences you have ever had. And that feels just like the movie industry, like Warner Brothers, again, telling the Wachowskis, especially I believe it's Lana who directed this, hey, you need to make a fourth Matrix movie again, or we're going to take it from you and make our own, whether you like it or not. And that's exactly this commentary on the filmmaking industry as a whole is what this first opening is. And I don't really, to me, it's sad because I don't see the Matrix in and of itself. And
come on now, don't overdo the M word, sir.
I'm like 5 in, but like I'm keeping tabs in my head here. But the idea is, one thing I noticed, they intersplice footage from the original films in here. You notice that, like, kind of clips and like shots and bam.
Oh, sure. No, most definitely. But if you could, please don't go across the scope of the entire film. I really wanted your opinion on the initial segment of the film.
Yeah, this is still the first hour. I'm still in the first hour, absolutely. But I'm going to say that what that does, what it makes me long for in this first hour is the original movies, because everything in this is too clean, is too concise, where you get that film grain and like that grittiness, that dark, cyberpunk future from the original films, and it's cutting in here, and it's reminding me, oh, there are better movies I'd rather be watching in this quadrilogy right now.
I got what you're saying. We did lose that whole aspect of the, of the feel, that gothy, right? Like tech punk, techno punk kind of like vibe that they did have going on. That vibe and energy was not present in this movie at all.
Yeah, it was upgraded. It was like a 2.0. They brought it into modern day, if you will, but it lost the charm and the uniqueness that it had really early.
What do you think, Cyber? What are your thoughts on that first segment of the film, and then anything that you want to bounce off what Chris said?
Well, the beginning of the film, it's kind of like, just like what everyone's kind of saying, is that just like how they made it a video game in the film, it's a reboot. And so basically, just like how the last one ended, where Neo basically gave his life to reset everything, this is like it resetting. So it's been, 60, real years versus 20 years in the Matrix. And so in that 20 years in the Matrix, it's rebooted however many times in that 20 years. So basically where we're at, the movie starts is basically has rebooted itself again. And we're starting over. Hence why all the programs look different, why the people are all different and stuff like that. It's because it's rebooted so many times over the years, it's altered and it's changed. And, Bugs basically, is kind of noticing that that's why these things are different as they are. So the beginning of the film is kind of it's an interesting way of restarting what Revelations did and kind of trying to reboot and get you back into starting a whole new cycle of what's going on in the Matrix, because as we left off in Revelations.
Drake.
We left off, just like the architect and the Oracle was, were there. They said, yeah, we'll see what happens now. How long does peace last? And, basically we can see that it's rebooted itself and has altered itself again. So that's kind of what I feel they were trying to do is at the very beginning of this film is to really get you back into that mindset of, hey, we're not where we were left off at the end of Revelations. We are at where we are at a new state and we've restarted, and kind of giving you that idea and kind of giving you that same feeling as the first film did, where, he, once again, Neo has to be unplugged.
That's a drink word right there too, baby. Drink.
Yeah, and I think that even helps to your point, Shark, that they had to recast a lot of these characters, right? Because obviously in 20 years, you can't, as much as we love Lawrence Fishburne, I don't think he could play the same role again, right? Those characters have possibly lived, some died, who knows? So to recast them is absolutely the lines with the reboot every time, right?
They confused the shit out of me with that opening scene where the guy was like, "I'm Morpheus." That's you're right there, Cyber. I have one of those drinking game tears of fear tinges right there. Because, even though I know Morpheus is a safe name, it's still a name. It's a title. Chris, we've been playing these drinking games. I'm starting to get haunted by sometimes when I go to talk. I'm afraid I'm going to say something wrong. But no, I got a little bit thrown off by that. I'm like, okay, I'm following it. But then I'm like, so this guy is an a sentient or whatever, but he's Morpheus now or whatever. They just kind of threw me off.
So that loop that we saw at the beginning, they said that Thomas Anderson, there's my way around that one, is coding that loop, and he created his Morpheus in there that he remembered. So it's Anderson coded his Morpheus as a program, and that's what you get to see at the end of that.
Just like he was able to influence Bugs through whatever, dreams or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like this, it's similar to fashion. No, I appreciate that, Chris. I like that. That's cool. So no, good contribution so far, guys. If Andres was here, I would be going to him right now. And it might go from 39-minute mark to the 57-minute mark by the time he gets done with his first contribution. And the whole movie will be discussed too. We'll be talking about the ending, right, Cyber? All of it.
Yeah. It's I mean, I feel bad for Andres already. He's already got the tire mics on his face, and you just keep throwing him under the bus.
I'm only talking shit so much about it because he's not here and everything and whatnot. And I know he's watching probably or whatever. So I'm messing with him. That's all I'm doing. It's all inside jokes.
Yeah, thank God there's replays, so he can go back and watch these.
We love Andres, the pop culture guy. He's good people, baby.
Yeah.
I take it as far as say that our man love is so strong. I go to the massage parlor with him and get a massage right next to him. That's how close we are, right, Cyber? Sure. 2-man massage.
Sure. As long as his Wi-Fi held up,
Yeah. Oh, I know. Wi-Fi.
You would take that monitor right there in with you.
Wi-Fi is very important when you're in the massage parlor. I'm telling you right now. You don't want to only have one bar. Just in case you got to use your Cash App or PayPal or some shit for one of the massage parlor homes.
Do they take Klarna? Can I pay in 4?
You need extra $40 for boom boom from behind. Yeah. Anyways, so there you go. So as far as the awesome images and scenes that Andres had me pull up for his moderating tonight, I actually have a good one here of Mr. Anderson. Thank you, Chris. we've learned to do that too and deviate and find different names and titles. This is him actually like getting out of his pod and all that shit and whatnot, and it'll pull right into what we're going to be talking. Why does so much shit look like aliens?
Well, I was going to say that it's like Terminator meets Alien.
Why is everything shaped like Alien, like the head of the? Did you see that shit, Cyber? I kept seeing like the head of the alien going on.
Yeah, I mean it has very Alien movie vibe. Anytime I saw that, even in the original film, it looked very inspired by Aliens.
But I don't remember ever actually. Chris, did you see you saw it too? Did you see it literally looked like the head of the fucking alien?
Yeah. So the little ship that kind of grabs him, right? That pulls him out of there. Yeah, it's very H.R. Geiger like base, kind of like Aliens is. It's very supposed to be like phallic and gooey and kind of humany and. Can you
imagine having that big fucking that big tool pull out of your neck, bro? I'd be like, fuck, bro, please be careful with that one, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already ripped that motherfuckers out of my back. Now you're gonna get me with that big fucker on my neck. Like,
I was really surprised they revisited this actually after several films to redo the rebirthing scene of Thomas Anderson, because they did it. It's such an important part of that first one, right? Like when you actually come in to the real world. I was surprised they actually retouched this after.
I'm not. It was a trope that honestly, if you would have asked me before the movie, it wouldn't have surprised me that they'd employ it. I would suggest they probably would. That's just me, though. You know what I mean? I would have expected it, to tell you the truth. In any continued variation where they added on, where they were putting it back into the M, I would expect them to go with the same route.
I mean, my half thoughts early on were like, oh, this Anderson is an actual program. He's not a real person. And that would have been the twist. Like, we downloaded his mind. We actually didn't rebuild his body.
So basically, where we pick up at on the synopsis of the film, and then linking off of that scene right there, is that Mr. Anderson awakens in a pod and notices Mrs. T confined in another nearby one. Very alien looking, before being extracted to Bug's hovercraft. Let's see if I can pronounce this correctly. Mean Mosin. Okay, whatever.
The M is silent. It's the just the end.
Oh, okay. So Memeson or Meme side. Okay. So Mr. Anderson is brought to the human city to where he reunites with an elderly Naomi, which I thought I was really surprised they threw her into the film. She explains that 60 years have passed in the real world since the M's war ended. They had a civil war, and that Mr. Anderson's allies, including the original Morpheus, have died over time. The peace achieved by Mr. Anderson's sacrifice lasted for many years, but the large number of humans leaving the M created a serious power shortage, causing the machines, to fight over years, over limited resources. Soon afterward, Zion, drink again, was targeted in an attempt to get humans to use as the power supply once more. However, this attempt caused many M's who still remembered Mr. Anderson's sacrifice and the promise of peace to turn on the others in order to protect the humans. This allowed most of Bion's citizens to escape was then founded by both M's and humans who have been working together ever since against the remaining machines, who want to return things to the way that they were before the war. What is the new city called?
Io.
Io. So to Io. So basically, Naomi refuses to risk Lowe's safety to help Mr. Anderson free Mrs. T and confines him to his quarters. Bugs and her crewmates free Mr. Anderson and enter the M to contact Mrs. T. They are attacked by Mr. S and other exiled programs, including the Merovingian. But Mr. Anderson and the Messine crew defeat them as Mr. Anderson's abilities return. The group leaves and locates Mrs. T, but before Mr. Anderson can talk to her, his therapist appears and immobilizes him by manipulating time. He reveals that he is the Analyst, a program designed to study the human psyche. I'll stop there. I'll go to you, Cyber. That's a big chunk of the film. I left out some parts, obviously. Sir, opine on that, what I just dropped for you right there, and then anything that I left out, and anything special or specific that you want to drop. Take your time. This will probably be your last contribution before you take off.
Yep.
Make it a good one. No pressure.
Well, this section of the film, there's a lot of information that they basically kind of pour out and they put into the script that they, want to shove out there to kind of get you back up to date with where we are in the Matrix. Oh, drink.
Thanks, Cyber.
Sorry.
He doesn't have to live with these repercussions. That's why he's saying all these words.
I'm trying to hit Andres up and make sure he's okay and everything. I wasn't prepared to drink. That's all right though.
It's all good.
The price of the game, baby.
And so, this section of the film, I'm sure a lot of people probably found boring. They probably found it, the least interesting of the film. Well, it had some action. It had some interesting things going on. But overall, because it was such an information highway, a lot of people probably weren't the biggest fan of it. And I think that this section was, to me, really helped me understand the film a little better. And I also feel that, there's a lot of kind of little quips and little tall tales or little signs that hint to different things from the previous films. And I really enjoyed that. Like, the mention of the Merovingian. I think that was a great little, tidbit back to the original films. The fact that, we have found out that it's been 60, normal years and 20, M years, that was interesting. I thought a little tidbit as well, because, literally because of how the M works. I mean, they could have made it any span of time they wanted. They could have made it 5 years. They could have made it since the last film came out, 20 years almost. They could have done that. And so they kind of stayed with that within that 20-year range of when the last one came out in 2003. And so I think that was kind of a good gimmick or a good thing that they did, because if you went too far out, I feel it wouldn't have been as, I feel, believable if you went too far into the future. Now, the visuals in this section of the film I thought were done really well. Like, that's one thing that I think they did really well this one. They really updated what they could have done with, what they wanted to do, I'm sure, with the original films, and give it a little more pizzazz. And this film really took that into account, having the technology that has improved in this sequence. I feel there's a lot of that they really showed. And especially with that scene that you showed there, with, N coming back out of his pod, and the alien looking world, that whole thing was a lot easier to do this time around versus how they had to do it previously. Like in the first film, that was all, they had to use dummies. They had to use all kinds of things to make that look, the giant thing coming out of his neck and stuff like that. This one, they could do it all digitally now. And so that made it a huge, big difference. And I think it looked even better just doing it all digitally. So I really enjoyed that scene. I thought that was a really cool scene with him popping back out of the pod, going back to that same thing as the first film did. And it helped kind of like I said, once again, this is a reboot. It's supposed to be a reboot of what happened from the last film. And to me, that was a clever way of doing it, along with changing and altering how the M is working now. Because just like you say in the synopsis, the machines, have basically had to find other means for sources. And they've had to try to reignite the war so that they could get what they needed to still be able to be around. So I think this whole section, like I said, was done well, It might have been a little boring to some, but I found it very interesting and I found it very informational. That it really helped me understand the film better. But I really enjoyed most of that part. I thought it was done well.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is, to me, where it kind of kicked up a little bit. I think the first part, like I mentioned, is very philosophical, and this is where we get down to the grassroots of what we know, right? What we remember. And you brought up a good point, Cyber. Like, bringing back Jada Pinkett Smith as Niobe. Like, we have one person we can bring back and age them up and put them in here to show how that connection to the original trilogy. Putting it in there is great. I do think what I would have loved, if I'd had my choice, I would have scrapped the first part we talked about and started here. I think if you just kick off from here and spend more time in like the real world, like, oh, bots are friendly and can help us now. The IO, the Zion history. It's almost kind of breezed over kind of conveniently for storytelling. I wish we could have like relished in it a little bit more, because to me, it's the most interesting part, right? This is where it comes to life. And I would say, we get the very stereotypical, the crew believes in the one, and so we've got to break him out so he can go do the thing. But when we get to the fight scene in, like, it looks like a maybe a harbor or a dock room with the Merovingian and the they're not remnants, whatever they are, the other wild programs. It's really cool to see that. And then we get Christopher Groff, who actually I think does a really good update of Agent S a little bit, but like it's not the same as seeing the actor's name. What's his name who played the original agent?
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo, thank you. I was like, oh, it's on there. Hugo Weaving, I think, just commands a scene, commands a presence. And Christopher Groff, as good as he is, I don't think he just commands the same presence in the scenes here with Keanu Reeves, and that is missing. But the action scenes are fantastic when you get down there into, like, they're fighting in the toilets beneath the kind of dock area a little bit. You get to see the what I call the Dragon Ball powers kind of come to life, where they're kind of blocking stuff and they're smashing concrete. You feel the remnants getting there. I really connected with that scene, and that has stuck with me for the past 2.5 years. So I'm like, oh, this is the Matrix I remember and I know. So hopefully, so I would say that part has stuck with me the longest, up until we get to the analyst reveal that you mentioned, Jeff, kind of at the end of this second act of that. So absolutely.
It looks like we lost Andres for the night. I feel bad for him now. I think he feels bad because, like, his shit didn't work out, and it was his first time to moderate and all that, everything, and it didn't think he went all Iceman, and now he just said fuck it, and like now he doesn't even want to come back on the show because he's like embarrassed. I feel really bad for him, to tell you the truth. I feel bad for talking shit now, honestly. So, but it is what it is. What are you gonna do? It happens. We love you, Andres. The show's better when you're on it, brother. Things happen. They happen to all of us, right?
Lives weren't on the line, and that's the important part.
No, you can moderate on Monday night, bro. You can take over from me at House of the Dragon. I'll let you have it. You just got to let me help you out and assist you and shit, motherfucker. I ain't letting you just come in there without trading wheels. Anyways, there you go. I'm still talking shit, bitch. Shit ain't changing. Well, fuck you, motherfucker. Anyways, I know you're out there. Bottom line, so great job, Chris. Great contribution. Cyber, you want to let us send you off, sir?
Yes, please.
Take this one home. All right,
Yep.
sir. Let me plug you out real quick. Luckily, Cyberneticshark is manually set. Shut up, man. Fucking Cyberneticshark is locked in on my YouTube. All you gotta do is put in Steve Y, right? And there's Cyber. He pops right up. That's how we get now. It's Cyber?
Yeah.
Anyway, Shark, sir. The floor is yours. Plug away.
All right. Well, I had a great time, even though it's a short, limited time. But if you enjoyed me here on the panel or as me as a moderator on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, you can check me out. My solo content, you can find me under Cyberneticshark. As you can see there, I put up my most recent video. It's a trailer reaction to a new film that's coming out with Dave Bautista called The Killer's Game.
The Killer's Game. I saw the trailer.
And just put up that. So keep an eye out and check that out if you like. Looks like it's going to be a fun film. Looks funny. Looks action-packed. Got a great cast. Got Carrie Cruz in it. Sophia Boutella. Huge cast.
He's got some comedic chops, Cyber.
He does. And if you haven't seen that, definitely go check that out. You can check out my Inside Out 2 review as well. Also, I put up a couple more, little mini reviews for you guys. One for Under Paris, which is a new shark film that just dropped on Netflix. That's a French film, and it's actually pretty damn good. CGI sharks look really damn well. And then one of Nick Cage's best films, I swear to God, if you have not seen it, The Unbearable Talent of Massive Talent film, Bearable Weight of Massive Talent. This movie is absolutely fantastic. Just finally watched it the other day. It was so good. Eventually, I'll do a full review on it, so keep an eye out for that. We'll have a full review for Under Paris up soon for you guys, and for Bad Boys Ride or Die, and be on the lookout for that and some more trailer reactions. But just huge shout out to all my new and old followers. You guys are rocking it, and let's just keep building, keep on joining, and keep on watching, people.
Cyber, what do you think? What if I fight bees and like videotape it as content? Like I fight bees.
You should do that. That'd be
my list of things I want to fight, Chris. I want to fight. Like at one point, I had this idea where I was going to fight all these like exotic, dangerous animals and shit in Australia because we have some Australian creators that we really like that come on our shows and shit. And I was thinking it'd make really good content if I just fought a kangaroo, right? Like when I won a kangaroo. Then I thought maybe
what happens when you lose?
Oh well, I mean, hey, it's part of the content, bro. You know, it's still entertaining. I mean, hey, I'm sure it'd be entertaining if I lost.
I don't. You don't want to lose against those poisonous ones.
I consider taking out a Komodo. Like maybe I could take out a Komodo dragon too. You know, couple. You know, some dangerous species. So I'm thinking, I'm looking for different things I can add to my list of things I can fight and videotape. You know, reaction video style, like so I can fight bees now, maybe.
There you go. You should definitely try that, sir.
As Dane Cook once said, he would punch a bee in the face, and that's all I can imagine you doing at this point.
The people that do the wasp removal, Cyber, instead of like coming in with machines and like hoses and all that shit and spray, I fight the wasp nest.
There you go. So smart, so great. I would love to see that, sir. That'd be a fantastic film. All right, gentlemen.
All right, sir.
I will see you later. Have a great night. Nice to meet you, Chris.
You too. Have a good one.
You pussy, afraid to drink with the boys?
You're the pussy, sir.
Too afraid to already drank too much. Can't hang with the real men playing the drinking games late.
Need sleep.
Anyways, Chris. Hey, brother. You know what? Look. You always
the Matrix. The Matrix. Neo.
Oh,
Agent Smith. Come
on. Don't do a bunch of crazy forced drinking, please. Cyber doesn't be enough.
Well, I mean, it said it was advertised hardcore drinking game, so I wanted to make sure we're living up to the title tonight.
Well, the thing is our hardcore drinking game nights are more like the Crow review we just had, where Andres wasn't moderating, I was moderating. We knew what was going on, right? And we had a big panel, and we went for like 2 hours and 35 minutes to where like we played long enough to where we actually did have one member of the Middle Aged Men movie review podcast on YouTube actually end up shitty drunk. Like he just got quiet. And I didn't know what happened to him, right? Like I was playing videos and stuff and everybody else was laughing and he was just being silent. Finally, one of his partners told me the day after that he was like shitty drunk.
Oh.
Shitty. So like, but no, hey man, listen, what a cool situation. We ended up, it's just me and you. We're teaming up, brother to brother, to rock out the rest. Here, I'll do it too. The Matrix 4.
Oh my god. Resurrections.
I'm drinking pussy ass Mike's hard black cherry lemonade, so I mean I can afford to have a drink.
It's mostly juice over there, sugar for you, but it'll do.
I'll tell you what, folks. If I'm gonna have to hold down a show like with a first time guest on the Bleeding Edge, right, and lock it down and finish an entire rest of the movie review, just me and him soloed up, you couldn't ask for somebody better than Chris.
Well, thank you.
And I mean that. I mean that genuinely. He represents himself very well, and as I mentioned in the private chat, I do definitely value your contributions. Your initial contribution, Chris, was really interesting. I like where you were going with it, and the film knowledge and the film background is very valuable to me personally on our movie reviews, because honestly, we've only been doing them for less than a year, and I'm not a movie expert. Cyber's the movie guy, right? So anytime we have people on that actually know some of the terminology, right, they can really add some more of a less of the entertainment angle and more of the informative angle. It's a plus.
Yeah, I like to do both. I actually, another plug, I shortly lived a podcast called Film Side Chats with a friend of mine. We only had eight things. We're talking about bringing it back, but we both went to film school together. And what's really fun for me is, we stepped outside of our comfort zone quite a bit for that. And, one thing that, being on the show here, and thank you for inviting me and reaching out to us, is that I would never have probably revisited The Matrix 4, and I watched it this afternoon to get ready for this. Like, I would have been like, yeah, I understand what they were going for. I don't need to go back and watch it. So I do appreciate the, it's not forceful, but like, the nudge, like, hey, do something out that you wouldn't normally do on a Friday night, kind of thing. That's how
I feel. Well, I hope you feel about the whole show with the drinking games too. And I hope one of the most important things to me out there, folks, is always for my guests, more than anything, they're always going to be treated with respect, and courtesy and whatnot, and civility and all that, and have equal time to talk and all that. But at the end of the day, I want them to have fun. I don't care. I don't need to be told. I don't need to hear it or like ask about it. I can tell whether you have fun at the end of the night or whatever when we depart. And that's what's important to me at the end of the day is making sure you have fun, you enjoy your time, right?
Yeah.
And then take whatever else from it too. So without getting too sidetracked, let me just say that we appreciate Cyberneticshark for coming out with us. He has to get up early in the morning for work. So just, thanks, Siren, for coming out and contributing what you could. Andres is in the comment section the whole time we were talking about Cyber's plugs and the Beekeeper and all that. So he's there. Hey, Andres, we love you, brother. And what's up, Tim, from Middle Aged Men, you motherfucker. So basically, I just threw a huge swath of movie at Chris on the last run, and I believe that I have a actual action scene lined up next to play. It is the coffee shop fight scene to drop. This should be enjoyable, and we'll go off this, and I'll drop a little bit more of the actual film synopsis, and then we'll get into questions. They're like about to say, man, that was a really shitty sex scene we had in the M2. Like, talk about some like weak ass Skinemax soft core, like porn type scene. That was rough. We need to, wish we could have fixed that up.
It was R-rated, I think. So, they could have pushed that R rating.
They didn't do much with it. It was like some making out or whatever. There was no nudity at all, I mean, no. So, all right. First of all, let me just ask you a question. I was never able to establish. I'm going outside the parameters of the actual scope of the outline of the film now. This is just a straight question. What the fuck was going on? I have it in my fucking notes. What was going on with the fucking winged fucking creature or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely.
That came out of nowhere or whatever. All of a sudden there was like some fucking alien bird type creature, type robot cyborg shit. What the fuck was that?
Kind of looked like a manta ray. Kind of looked like a moth. So plot wise, Deus Ex Machina. Obviously shows up when it needs to, but that is the embodiment of the Oracle from the original ones. She introduced herself as the young version of herself. Remember that?
So the Oracle became that?
Yeah. So all of these, all those old programs, the original Oracle and the original Matrix, they were purged from the programming. They were like, we don't want you anymore because you're keeping the peace that you mentioned earlier. So we gotta bring it back. So, but instead of purging her and deleting her as a program, they gave her a little cybernetic body to float around in. That when she plugs into the Matrix, she can access that stuff and work with the team under the radar.
Well, that is stupid.
It's very convenient. I wouldn't say it's stupid, but it's a convenient plot point, right? Like oh, the person who knows how to do everything shows up at the last minute to help us do everything. It's a very convenient plot point.
I guess. I mean, that's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
I
would say the thing I think is the stupidest point of all this. Instead of agents, we have SWAT team members, right? And the least effective item in any Matrix movie is a bullet. We've established from the first movie that bullets don't work.
You got close. You skipped the bullet, right? When you said agents instead of agent. Drake, that's of the Drake, right?
Yeah, there you go. But like all these SWAT members there, I don't care about them. They have guns. We know that the one can stop bullets in their track. He's not afraid of bullets at any time.
No, but what was going on with that? Look at that coffee shop scene. There's too many characters, too many people on screen.
Right.
There's too many different. There's too many fucking people. You don't know what's going on because it's hard to tell who's. It's almost like Tenet. You can't figure out in that final battle in Tenet who's even with who.
Well,
almost.
And they've introduced a bunch of these side characters that you don't really care about because they came in about halfway through the movie.
No, and also because unlike the other M films, in these secondary characters, in this one, they didn't give them personalities.
Right. Because they came in way too late to do
or specific characteristics for you to connect to. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like they did with the other films where you had a reason to Cypher, for instance, right? They gave you, they individualized them more.
Yeah,
the secondary characters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because it was world building, and this one's just like, oh, you remember we had a guy who was about hijacking things, and they're good with guns, and
but you can have both. You can do both a little bit, can't you?
Well, that's what I'm saying. In 2.5 hours, they spent the first hour telling us about the video game he was making, rather than getting us into the world, which is where, like I said, that should have started where the hour was.
So you're saying that like the movie would have been more cohesive and less confusing, probably. Maybe that wasn't the perfect words, but like you get where I'm going with that.
Right.
Yeah. Would have been on my end if they would have trimmed down some of that Mr. Anderson shit, right? Yeah. And went into the nitty gritty and just did more explanation of what the hell is actually going on.
Yeah. Don't spend the entire first hour saying he has to make a video. The new M word is a video game, and he has to make a sequel, and he's tired of doing the same thing every day.
And his asshole like pain in the ass buddy is actually an agent,
right? A bot, yeah. Because they introduced bots. I like the idea of bots in this movie. I think bots make more sense than having everyone be, Again, I think agents is in the word.
Yeah, but they made him so overt. Like he was such an overt character that you knew something was off with him anyway from jump.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But like the idea that even her husband, Tiffany's husband, was a bot, right? Like literally, because what they do, they just throw everybody.
I didn't understand that. See, that's a revelation to me. I did not grasp that from the film because again, I literally watched the whole thing and then watched the second half of it again. Yeah. Right, to try literally so I committed a lot of time to it.
Yeah,
I did not grasp that through the plot. Everything happened so fast.
Yeah, the analyst says that they control the variables around Anderson and Tiffany to make sure that they never really connect and have that meeting, right? So by controlling the people around them, they can force them into a path where they never fall in love and they never gain their powers. So
of
by
course,
having
because
the kid and the husband because bots, it makes sense.
Because because for some reason that they really didn't explain well at all, essentially Mrs. T and Mr. Anderson ended up being what the analyst needed to use to create the new M. They're like the catalyst of it, aren't they? Almost he needed the two of them.
Right, exactly, because they're like magnets. When they snap together, they're hard to pull apart. But if you leave them at just the right distance, you can still gain energy from them without
like Rick and Michonne from The Walking Dead in a way. Different context, but like Rick and Michonne. You know, that was the whole that was the whole premise of the ones who live that we covered, right? Me and Andres covered on Monday nights. The whole premise of it was that them together is really dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to watch out for them, letting them be together, right?
Yep.
You know,
exactly.
like they're bad.
100%.
They're already like so powerful individually. You put them together, they can take apart your whole operation.
And it's like licking a 9-volt, right? You don't want to be licking that 9-volt because that will give you a shock. But absolutely. And then when they load them together, they actually have powers to over the environment, the simulation, if you will. That's why they are able to fly and stop bullets and look really cool in black leather, because I don't have that ability in real life to look cool.
Why was it necessary to make Mrs. T have to fly in the film? Was that for equality or something? Or?
Well, I wouldn't even say it's equality. It's more of the idea, like everyone thinks that Anderson
why couldn't Mr. N just be able to be the only one that can fly? You know what I'm saying? Because whether he was the one or not, why couldn't they have just kept that as like the shit? You know what I'm saying?
He does at the end. He gets it back, but he's not the first.
What I'm saying is, why was it necessary to have to make it for her to where she can fly now too in this last film? Like that had to happen.
Well, yeah, because that's the discovery, is that they both together have the abilities. They both have source code. It wasn't just one person; it was two people together that are combined.
I don't like it. I think it takes away from the original Ebb story. To be completely honest with you, I think the film already lowers the stature of the trilogy to begin with, and I think that at that point, right, like frankly. I think that the I guess they aren't the Wachowski brothers anymore because you can't call them that. But I think that their politics, to be completely honest with you, are probably more along the reason of why it was necessary to make Trinity have those same powers. Because I mean, I'm sorry, but you mentioned something about it earlier with with them, in that intro, using that part to as a caveat to get back.
So
you know what I mean?
Only one of them is a part of this. Just so you know, only Lana Wachowski is part of this. The other one had nothing to do with this movie and is not in the filmmaking industry.
Okay, so they split up for the movie.
But, right, because Warner Brothers was like, we're going to make this whether you want to or not. So they were.
I understand that part. I read that in my prep. Yeah,
right. But Lana was the only one who said, yes, I will come back. The other Wachowski said, I will not be a part of this.
So it was her vision. Listen, her reasoning for giving Mrs. T the ability to fly could be anything. I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I'm just throwing stuff around.
Yeah, I think. Well, to me, it's the more people who like the idea that there's one. I think what I really dislike about the original trilogy is that it relies on Christianity as its base. I don't care for he has to die and be reborn to be the one above all who has.
But you could decide to just not let that be because I'm a Christian, right? Like, look,
it's fine.
But seriously, honestly, like, look at it this way. I just want to put it out there, Chris, between me and you. Use this as a cross right here on my chest. I don't hide it on purpose. It just wasn't.
No,
showing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the fact that I'm a very loose Christian. Don't get me wrong. If you can't tell already, like I'm not exactly your most biblical, strict guy or whatever. But at the end of the day, though, bottom line, I'm able to just not even care about things like that and whatnot, narratives like that, or concepts like that when it comes to film or art, right? Well, it's a choice.
Well, what it does to me is it makes it predictable because they are following the same story. It's not that it is that story; they're just following the same story, right? Like at the end, you're like, oh, I see kind of what they've done. They've taken from something else, and it makes it predictable. So, like in this one, to me, I don't think.
Did the Wachowskis ever say that? I mean, because they're not Christian people. They're not,
it's not. They didn't say it's a Christian film. It's just based on the allegory of Jesus and being reborn and stuff like that.
Did they state that was actually their thinking in the writing of it?
Yeah, the original story. Yeah, you can
obviously with Gion, Bion as we're using as a safe word, and things like that, right? There's biblical references like all over the place, right? With some of the names of the ships and things like that, and the names of the characters.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't mind that more than one person can have the ability to influence the inward, if you will. Like that's fine with me. If more than one person can do that, and that the fact that it's they have what they did, they resurrected, literally rebuilt from death I'm going to say it, Morpheus and Trinity back to life, and then they both have this ability. Now that they've built them back, I don't know what stuff they put in their bodies when they interact with the Matrix. So maybe they gave her something in there that says, look, they are special people. They have admin rights over the software.
They handled it in a proper way. It was done properly. It did not. It wasn't cringy or anything like that at all. I'm not even trying to go that direction.
Absolutely.
But let me delve right back into the film. Right, we don't have that much farther to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break this end up into basically like 2 parts, so we can just do 2 questions off of it, and then we'll just do like some final questions, some final thoughts and ratings, and we'll plug out of here. So the analyst explains that after Neo's drink, motherfucker, I have to get up in a minute and get some more drinks.
Oh, yeah.
And Mrs. T's death, he wanted to study Mr. Anderson's body and his anomalous powers as the One, and convinced his superiors to resurrect both of them. He discovered, which I enjoyed those scenes, I thought they were interesting. He discovered that due to the One's inherent connection to all humanity in the M, manipulating Mr. Anderson could make the Matrix drink produce more energy. Moreover, he found that code anomaly in Mr. Anderson was shared in his bond with Mrs. T. And that by surpassing their memories and keeping them close but always apart, the M generated much more energy. Solving the energy crisis put the analyst in a position to seize power from the architect, after which he rebuilt the M to control humans with emotional manipulation, claiming that humans generally believe what they want to believe. Mr. Anderson's liberation destabilized the system and triggered a failsafe to reboot the M. But the analyst stalled the reboot by convincing his superiors that threatening to kill Mrs. T would force Mr. Anderson to return to his pod. Oh fuck! I slipped up. I've got 1 drink in the can when I get a drink. Mr. Anderson and Bugs return to Low and talk to Sati, who has come back from the M3 and is now in this film, older. An exiled program that Mr. Anderson previously met, speaking to avenge her parents' deaths at the hands of the M's. Sati helps devise a plan to free Mrs. T. Back in the M, Mr. Anderson makes a deal with the analyst. He will return to his pod if he fails to convince Mrs. T to leave the M. I'll stop there and go to you, Chris, for questions on that segment of the film, cutting off and stopping right before we actually get to where, the Tiffany identity reaffirms her identity and all that, right? Up to that point.
Where you stopped was where that clip started, the last clip you started.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. No, so go right off that, and I'm going to go ahead and grab some more drinks, and I'll come right back.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's the thing about, getting up to this is, it's not just, again, Mr. Anderson being the one above all who can do everything. It's that it's him and his relationship with Tiffany / the T name that we can't say, so we'll say Tiffany, her in the real world, and bringing her out of her pod into the ship so they can, I guess, jack her in whatever they want and have her control, because with the machines controlling her, I said the M word, have a couple drinks after this, with the M words controlling her, she has limited access. It's like a computer program. The admins are saying, you have a piece of bologna there. Is that what I'm seeing?
I do. Yes, sir. It's very professional.
Just making sure. No, it's fine. I was making sure.
I want to show you the real professional side of the Bleeding Edge right here. So this is Galtney bologna, folks. Thick slice.
Wow, like a professional. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Oscar Mayer, are they sponsoring the show? Are they paying the ads?
I threw you off a little bit on that one, huh, Chris?
Yeah, no, a little bit. Well, a little bit, but I'll come back. But it's just where we've got to up to the point where it's the clip, and we're bouncing back and forth here, is that the M words are controlling it like a program admin, And what's happening with the admin is you have to get them out of there and get your own install base, because that's why they're trying to get, obviously, Anderson and Tiffany into the ship so they can control it and not be shut down. Because you mentioned, they're trying to reboot the M with the programs, and they don't really want to do that. They'd rather, the ego of the analyst, played by Neil Patrick Harris, is what's his downfall is. He thinks he knows it all and can do it all. And then, obviously, as that clip showed, Christopher Groff comes in and proves otherwise.
Most definitely. And, sir, I'm sorry. I did not mean to make you jealous with the baloney.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never even thought about you. I feel like kind of selfish now, how you feel about seeing it. But it was right there. And I am the type of guy that likes to eat the bologna right out of the package. So,
no judgment from my end. I grew up eating cold hot dogs, so I feel you.
Yeah, I haven't actually, to tell you the truth, I've never done it before on a show. That's how random I am.
This is my first time. Your first time. It's the first for everything here.
Hey, that's the thing. Hey, folks, that's the thing about live streaming, right? You never know what the fuck might happen. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, strange things happen. Like, look, what'd you think of that retro '90s condom commercial I played as an intro, bro? That was pretty solid, right?
I tell you what, things I never expected to see again was that I honestly thought to see if you were sponsored by them, bringing it back, but
that's pretty solid, right?
Yeah. It set the mood right. That's for sure.
What does it say to there? Like, go get some or whatever.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. Have you hear about this new event that they're adding to the Olympics that was in that other video I showed you?
No, this is news to me as well.
Yeah, they're bringing it to the Olympics this year. New event, spice things up for the radio. Ratings have been down.
Yeah.
I
mean, it looks more like a Winter Olympic event, but who am I to say what temperature you can do things in?
A lot going on there, right? I mean. And, honestly, I thought those were actual mannequins or something, or at first or whatever, but they're not. They're real women.
Oh, ugh.
They are. You can see them actually moving their heads, and, those are actually real women. That's very interesting. Yeah, I can't wait for them to drop that on the Olympics. It's definitely going to change things up. They're spicing things up, sir. How things are all these days. Very debauched. Our culture is getting more debauched, by the day.
Anything to bring in viewers, I suppose.
Well, earlier in the show, we mentioned that, we'd hope that, that having a beard, you'd be a man. But, honestly.
No one's going to marry you, Haranam. You have a beard. No one's going to date you, Haranam. You have a beard. No one's going to be your boyfriend, Haranam. You have a beard. You are not a preference to a lot of men. And then I'll get, really.
No, you're not a preference to me, my friend. But there you go, folks. You know what? I just wanted to make sure that we were clear that not all people with beards are men. That woman is very proud of her beard. It's bigger than mine. Very intimidating, actually, to tell you the truth. She's actually kind of cute. So it's unfortunate that her beard would be in the way of me trying to, connect, unfortunately. Right?
Yeah. Maybe your beard maybe your beard's in the way of her trying to connect. I don't know. You gotta look at it from both sides.
I mean, if you got the better beard, then you have to be the top. You have to be the dom in the relationship.
Yeah,
is it in the written rules of beard or whatever, beard shit?
I've never seen these written down, so I can't really comment on those. But you gotta respect game where game is, and they're definitely up in their game. I don't have that kind of beard.
I know. That's why I said that. When I played that, the first time I ever played that, I was like, I'm jealous. Yeah. Right? Like, seriously, she can grow her beard out higher up than I can. I've got the Keanu Reeves beard. Yeah. Like you know what I'm saying? Where my shit won't grow up like yours does.
I do not appreciate Keanu Reeves carrying his John Wick look into this movie either. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think if they had gone back to the clean-shaven Mr. Anderson, I would have been more accepting. But it looks like he just. I mean, it's not that Keanu Reeves doesn't try. He's a great actor. He does a great job. He fits into this role in every role he does. But it was just watching John Wick try to be Thomas Anderson, and I didn't appreciate that as much in this film. Back to the Matrix.
He gets as much out of his beard as you possibly can get out of a beard. Yeah. Again, he's got the Keanu Reeves beard like I do, where if you look, I can't grow my beard up my face. We don't have that. Ours kind of cuts off, right? I have that same thing he does, where just doesn't grow out. So he rocks it. He gets a lot out of it. Everybody loves Keanu.
Iconic look, right? You know who you're looking at when you see him. He did that also what, Cyberpunk 2077. And
I feel blessed. It could be like my Keanu beer could be worse. Mine is like Keanu's. Like it works, right?
Yeah.
Like it's good enough, you know?
I will say one of the things I was impressed about, they did shave his head and beard for whenever he got out of the pod. And I was like, oh, he looks like an old man, you know, grow the long hair back out.
He did, but he's Keanu Reeves, dude. He's so cool. Every time, whenever every once in a while, I'll see him on TikTok or something or whatever, like on some short or whatever, or on YouTube, and it'll be some video of him like with a fan or something, or him riding his motorcycle or smoking a cigarette or something or whatever, whatnot. He's fucking cool, bro. Yeah, he's Keanu Reeves, dude. Everyone loves him. You know,
everything you hear about him.
Everything you hear about him is great. It's like, you know, oh, he stopped and like helped the fan change her tire or whatever before she was, you know, on her way to go see the movie or some shit. You know
or you see his photos with fans and he's like doing the hover hand, like he's like, I'm not touching, no touching. We're not getting into this.
Yeah, so. Or you know, it's him with kids or something. You know what I mean? Like, you know, little young fans or whatever. You know, like he's just great, man. Right. He's Keanu, dude. I'm telling you right now, if Keanu Reeves fucking was in that race, the new Olympic event, he would kill it.
He's a master of everything he does.
So, essentially, my final, you know, thoughts on that section of the film that we were discussing right there are just basically that, again, the secondary characters, the lack of secondary characters, and the kind of overcrowding a little bit at times of some of the stuff kind of detracts a little bit from the film to me. They could have done a better job with the team, the crew. You know, that made up their squad, like kind of over on the you know, the good side, you know, the human side, right? That was that they, you know, they didn't make an effort really in that area to try to you know, do anything interesting other than adding an aged you know, Jada Pinkett Smith character,
right?
Which you know, I was shocked they did that.
Yeah, and I think it's just, again, that first, I looked at the time when I was watching today, that first hour, there is nothing that really drives the story forward. It just spins some wheels. And I think if they use that hour, kind of like the first movie did, because you get an idea of the team. Morpheus is a safe word, I think. Morpheus's team early on in the first movie, like you know.
Fear? Did you feel that fear for a minute?
I did. I was like, oh, am I good? But Morpheus' team in the first movie, they introduced him early on, and they even give like Cypher, right, the villain, the twist early on. He's more twisted than that tea you're drinking. That's what's happening.
They did a really good job with that. I'm glad you pointed that out. That's a really great point of yours. They really, in that first film, I've never really identified it or ever remember it being discussed in any conversation I've ever had about the Matrix. How they did such a great job of establishing right from jump a team with underneath Morpheus, right? Yeah. To sort of be like, you know, the outlaw, like the bones of the film, right? You know, and make up the team. So they were all very individualistic. They did a great job, like how they looked was different, right? They had like interesting looks to them. The one was like very Bold-like looking with like the blonde short hair or whatever, right? Yeah. You know, like everyone was very distinguished looking, right? Like they all look different.
And I think the difference in that the stakes were higher because those people could die at any second. And I don't think a single person died in this movie. Like,
no, did anybody die?
I don't think any of the team actually died throughout this, which was disappointing because that means there's no stakes. And when there's no stakes, it doesn't feel real.
You're right. I don't think anyone did die.
Yeah.
I remember anybody getting shot and like falling down and dying.
Yeah, bullets are the weakest thing whenever you're watching these movies. So I didn't see a single person take a bullet. You saw them get beat up, and I think one was in a car being surrounded by bots, but they rescued her.
The fight choreography was solid, I thought, in the film.
Yeah.
That at least they did a good job with that. I mean, as far as I was concerned, right?
Yeah.
You know, all the hand-to-hand combat stuff was well done.
Yeah, and they kind of revisited the dojo scene with the new Morpheus. So, you know, they got to kind of set that up a little bit. And then they, again, picked it up at the dock scene and then there at the end. But most of that at the end was the force blast.
Well, some of that lends over is Carrie Ann Moss and Keanu Reeves because they've already so trained. They've already done this so many times. Like, they're entrenched in this stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So,
absolutely.
like, they know how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure that their stunt double, they probably get they have good people in there in their crew, right?
Yeah.
To handle it. But they did a good job with the fight choreography. Visually, the film looks good.
Yeah.
It looks great. But honestly, it really it's just a different tone to it. It really does. But back connecting back into the M here of as far as the film goes. So after coming off of Mr. Anderson making a deal with the analyst to return to his pod, if he fails to convince Mrs. T to leave the M, Tiffany reaffirms her identity as Trinity Drake while talking with Mr. Anderson. Realizing that he has lost, the analyst attempts to kill her, but Mr. S appears and attacks the analyst, seeking revenge for his own imprisonment.
Yeah.
Mr. Anderson and Mrs. T and the others escape in their vehicles, chased through the streets by hordes of bot programs and attack helicopters. As the last ones to be extracted from the M, Mr. Anderson and Miss T become cornered atop a skyscraper. Holding hands, they leap off, and Mrs. T begins to fly, taking them to safety. With Mrs. T's newfound control over the M, both return to confront the analyst. They thank him for giving them a second chance by resurrecting them, while they also express their contempt. Mr. Anderson and Mrs. T fly off into the sky together, making plans to remake the M.
So I'm going to pause you right there. I'm going to grab a drink. I just ran out. You continue with the description. I'll be right back.
Excellent. Actually, I'm going to flip over to the other Matrix trailer, folks. Bear with me. So, yeah, they really, the movie really is about Mrs. T and Mr. Anderson, right?
Yeah.
Like, they really, I mean, which is very logical, obviously, because we're missing, like you said, Lawrence Fishburne's not here, right? So, right there, that's a big loss from the main cast. So, they really went heavy on their dynamic, right? And made that the focus of the film, which I guess almost anybody I think probably would go in and go in that direction. But basically where you had just bounced real quick, took a minute, Chris, and got booze or whatever you did. Where we'd stop was the end of the film. All right, so as I said, right, we end with Mr. Anderson and Mrs. T flying off into the sunset, making plans to remake the new M, as the most wonderful, beautiful place in the world. In the meantime, basically, what I wanted to ask you, well, you know what? First of all, let me get your thoughts, Chris, on that final segment of the film, that final, 25% of the film that I just laid out for you.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think about it, and then I have like one or two questions off that, and we're good.
Right out of the coffee shop scene, it becomes one big chase through the city, and again, I don't feel this. Like I mentioned, this movie doesn't make me feel the stakes for the characters. I never feel concerned at any moment for any character because they didn't give us anything to worry about beforehand, right? Of course they're going to make it out. Of course they're going to get to the end. I think the third movie did a really good job subverting expectations by actually killing.
Why would you make the fourth film and kill off Keanu or Carrie Ann Moss in the film? That makes no sense.
Well, I think
no, you're right. Though. No, I'm just saying you called it. Know going into the movie they're not going to die.
Yeah, if they did and said, okay, we're actually going to reboot the Matrix with new characters and new like personas that they kind of dabbled in, I'd been like, I get it. But at any time they've not killed a single person up to this point, so I don't feel they're going to kill anybody going forward. They didn't even kill the Merovingian. He was just
not even the A's or the bots. None of them were died either.
Right. But I will say the street, when they started using the bots as bombs, like suicide diving into the streets and then shattering into like the code was pretty cool. I was like, that looks cool. That's a new thing in this world. So I really kind of dug that more along the way. So that was great. The helicopters on the scene, nothing tops the helicopter scenes from the first movie, right? Like where Mr. Reeves himself pulls the helicopter, right, and saves Morpheus. So I'm always comparing to the older stuff because it set a precedent, and the precedent I feel just didn't live up to here, because I'm like, there is no way they're going to be off. There's no way they're not going to survive. Obviously, a lot of people thought that Reeves would be the one who flies, right? Anderson would be the one who flies, but by flipping the script a little bit and saying, no, actually it's Tiffany, Carrie Ann Moss's character, who has now realized that she is part of this, the world. They rebuilt her into the world as when they brought her back to life. Taking that power first is great, but I do love at the end of the film, whenever they're at what's his name, Neil Patrick Harris's, the analyst's house, that she literally kicks his jaw off because she mentions that earlier in the film. I was like, oh, that's pretty fun.
But he's not even like a human being, so you could just beat the fuck out of him. It doesn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah,
right?
Well, that's the beauty of it. Like that way they can get away with, like, we're not really hurting a human. We can stitch him back together by using our powers. Like they snap, but I think his jaw comes back.
I think you've made several points that align with what I'm about to say, which is that they also just like they removed the sort of like punk, rock, like goth, the
Lawnmower Man kind of stuff,
that dark, like energy, vibe that they had in the especially in the first film. In this film, there's no tone like that at all. And on top of that, because there's no killing, there isn't like the gun usage, right? And the display of different types of guns and whatnot. That is like one of the, let's be honest, it's one of the coolest aspects of overall of the Ebb films, and especially the first one, is that there's a lot of guns. There's a lot of them. They're always shooting. You know what I'm saying? People enjoy.
They mean something, because in the first one, if you got shot by an agent, I think that might be the words.
Drake.
Drake. You will die. You will not make it out.
You will die. Yeah, and there was a lot of handgun, like handgun to handgun.
Yeah.
Like combat, which I like stuff like that. That looks really cool.
And the agency, the death of that was just ripped out of the other two movies because they showed he can stop bullets.
They really did a shitty job with redoing that whole concept in the film in M4, right? Like, see, I'm like afraid. I'm just so good with the drinking game. I'm already so afraid that like now any word that like seems like it could be like possibly bad, I'm like giving it different titles.
Yeah. This film is by no means, like I said, overall a bad film, but it's not the best film overall.
I'm just realizing that part wasn't there because of some of the things you said. That it really, I didn't notice until you mentioned it. No one does die, and there really isn't as much gunfighting, right? And there really aren't as many action scenes. There's a lot more action scenes.
The action scenes feel safe. They feel like they're just like, hey. We've got some kung fu we can show off, and they're blocking, and they're hitting harder because they're going through walls and columns. But the gun fu from the first one is gone.
And when no one dies, you don't know you're not sure who wins or who loses or what the fuck is really going on.
Well, it doesn't matter because again, nobody really was off. Like Christopher Gross, Agent S, it walked away. Who knows where he is at the end of the day. Neil Patrick Harris's analyst, he's not really dead either. He's just got to live with, the main two characters rewriting the world, how they see fit, which I'd love to see whether that be like an anime spinoff or an animated thing on Netflix. Like there's a lot more stories in this world I would love to see that we just don't get.
How much do you think Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss got paid? Best guess for the film.
Oh, man, I could not tell you without pulling up even how much the budget was.
The budget was 190.
190.
It did box office wise. It did 159.2.
Right, yeah, but that's also unfair because that was a same day Max release. So I would be interested to know how many subscribers they gained off that as well.
Well, it also came out. It also came out in 2021. So that's right after COVID.
Right. Well, it was the same month as Spider-Man, so I disagree. Spider-Man: No Way Home made like $2 billion.
No, but still, audience numbers were still down at that point.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
And I think people were using their back subscription.
Not as many people were going to the theater. I know that for a fact because of all the MCU movies I go to. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not Zack Snyder. I'm not delusional. I understand the difference between Netflix numbers and theater numbers. But but people were like obviously paying for Max to watch these movies for free. I watched it for free at home. I know I did not go to the theater. But I would say if anything, I would say Reeves was probably 15 and Moss was 10 million.
You think so?
Okay. I'm making up
numbers. That's probably fair. That's probably fair. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Keanu Reeves is in the middle of John Wick at this point.
I think he makes a little bit more than that. Maybe I'm guessing. I think maybe he gets 18 or something or 20.
Yeah, Bill and Ted had just come back out. Like he was in demand. It wasn't like a.
But you can't make the film without him.
Well, I think you could have made a Matrix movie, and that's a drink, without them.
Oh, and rebooted the whole thing completely and all that. Yeah.
Which is, I think, has been announced for this franchise. I think that is the next step. Is a brand new story with brand new.
Why even make this film?
I think it was a threat from Warner Brothers, and the Lana Wachowski stepped up and said, "Fine, you're going to threaten me."
And they were just trying to.
I'm going to end it the way I want to do it.
And so the Warner Brothers just wanted to make money off the brand, basically. And they figured, if we make another M film, right, it will make money. Do you know what I mean?
Do you remember how many video games and tie-ins and stuff you saw for The Matrix and That's a Drink back in the 2000s? Like, how much was there?
Of course.
Like money. It was cash. And Warner Brothers is big on franchises. They need their franchises to survive, and they rely on DC. They rely on Harry Potter quite heavily, right? To do this stuff. So obviously tapping into this, they're like, we need to bring back the M movies because they made us so much money back in the
they need James Gunn to like handle his business and turn around the whole DC thing to where they actually are making money off of that because they've lost a lot of money.
Yeah. What I would love to see, and I'm going to, if my next hopes for this franchise, right, kind of taking the resurrections, what do we know how to end, is to say, what do we know about technology now? Because the first movie...
Why can't they do it in a television series? If they have to do it again, why can't it be in a TV series? Don't you think it would...
You could either one. I don't care which medium they choose. I agree with you. It could be either one. But
I think you'd be overdoing it if you tried to make more films. I do.
Yeah, and that might, but I think the first one had a very unique thumb point on that time. 1999 was when it came out.
The zeitgeist. Yeah.
Well, but like payphones were how you got back into your ship, right? Does anybody who would be spending money and watching these movies know what a payphone is anymore?
No, especially not younger kids. That's why, like, one of the things we talked about when we reviewed the first M film. One of the things I asked, because I moderate all these films, because I picked them, right? That's how me and Cyber do them. He moderates the ones he picks. I moderate the ones I pick. I pick these. I pick the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I pick the Snyder trilogy, or the Nolan trilogy, Batman films after Lord of the Rings and all that, right? So I'll moderate those. So I'm moderating because this is my pick. In the first one, I asked the whole panel, I was like, what do you think the reception would be these days of like your 18 to 20, 5-year-old block, right? To this film. Would it work for them? If you could get them to sit down for 15, 20 minutes and get into it, right? How would it play? You know what I mean? Yeah. And honestly, I want to believe that it would work if you could get them to sit down, right? Yeah. And I have a 20-year-old kid, so I have some experience.
Yeah.
That like it's that solid of a film still, even though it didn't come out in the 90s. It did.
Right.
It holds up. But no, what do you think? Last question for you before we do our ratings and our final thoughts, and we'll get out of here and plug out. Should they have made Matrix 4? Drake.
Well,
I mean, it wasn't necessary. Like in terms of, its impact overall, just whatever your thoughts are, but overall on the impact on the original trilogy, right? Like what do you think?
So I'm very unique in this situation. I can remove any bad like anything in this quadrilogy. I can remove it. It does not affect me how much I enjoy the originals, if that makes sense. Like to me, I like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. I like the Last Crusade.
Was there any story left to be told? Really, in all honesty.
But using those as an example, very similar to this, did we need new Indiana Jones movies and how bad they are? That doesn't take away from how much I enjoy the original.
I don't even watch. I haven't watched them.
Right,
the new ones. I don't watch them.
But if you watch it, you're still gonna love the first ones because they just resonate with you, right?
Oh, so of course, yeah.
I don't think this takes away from the originals. However, I do think it suffers from what I think is one of my. It does make a swing at things, but it still suffers from just rehashing old things that we love.
Let me reshape my question. Was it necessary from a perspective of the fact that was there really any story to be told left anyway? Didn't they kind of end it?
Right.
Revolution.
They ended in a very definitive note where everyone was dead, right? Like they killed off the main character.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So at that point, was it necessary to push forward when there really wasn't story there?
Well, I think your question is kind of loaded because you're setting up like there's no story to tell. Well, I think a good storyteller can find any story to tell, even if they're dead or not. I think they went about it the wrong way and should have introduced new characters into this world rather than rehashing the original content, right? To tell a good story, they'd be like, oh, the Matrix exists, the machines, the humans are fighting, but we don't need to go back and find Neo and Trinity. We can actually tell from new characters and new stories. Everything is updated. We now have Wi-Fi. We didn't have Wi-Fi back in 99. So why don't we show how the new technology is affecting the machines in the world rather than saying, hey, you remember Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss and how much you really dug them as a couple and were like shipping them? Like, let's go back and do that. So does that make sense? Like I think there is story to tell, but this is not the story that should have been told.
Well, I would say redoubling what I kind of said earlier is that if they really wanted to move forward with this IP, they shouldn't have made this film. Yeah. Right? They should have went in whatever direction they were going to go in, Chris. You get what I'm saying with this?
Absolutely. Yeah, because
they should have made that jump, that leap, and went in whatever direction they were going to go in, right? And push reset or whatever, whether it was a TV series or another trilogy or something like that, and you totally redo everything, right? If they were going to do all that, you don't do this. You don't make this film.
And I think the beauty of and I'm going to say it because it's a drink, the Matrix is you don't need to reboot it necessarily. You can actually continue the world with everything and just have it be like the Matrix itself rebooted rather than
the way everything is so on demand and immediate and whatnot with the internet and YouTube and all that shit. There's an impact on them making this film on whatever else they do with the IP. You see, you get where I'm going with this, right, Chris?
Yeah. No, exactly.
So hear me out though. So basically, if you go and you pull it up on YouTube right now, what people think of this film? It's not the reviews are not that spectacular, right? They're not. I'm not the only person on there that's saying the plot's confusing and all that kind of stuff, whatever. So my point simply is just that does impact whatever else they do with another project. If they do go in a different direction and make that reset, and like you said, if they believe that, if they go in a different direction and recast and all that, go in, with all that kind of that whole deal, that there's still something to be done there, the story to be told and money to be made and all that, in whatever way, this doesn't help is my point. You see what I'm saying? Like, the negative feedback that towards this film on your general audience over the cluster of a couple of years, right?
I don't think anybody I don't think anyone's gonna even have any memory of this by the time something else comes out. And if it's got different actors and they especially point out, this is a new Matrix, I don't think they're gonna have to have that baggage of this movie carried with them.
I would do it on TV if it was me. I would go in a different direction and actually do it as a TV series if I was going to bring it back.
And I would say the problem with that is no one's doing TV right now because it's too cost prohibitive, right? Like you
But
see
everybody. But if you want a whole shift of the characters and all that, and you really want to go to that, it's you know as well as I do from your schooling that you're better off going the TV direction because that gives you more actual time on screen and more episodes and to work with in terms of like fleshing out these new characters.
I would normally agree with you, but the first movie is so impactful that they did it in one movie with all the characters and the world building. I think.
Yeah, but how do we know? How do we know that Lawrence Fishburne and Carrie Ann Moss and Keanu Reeves didn't have like wonderful chemistry, just like outstanding chemistry, and they just killed it? Like behind the scenes, they were like machines or whatever, right? Or whatever, and like it all came together. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. But they never talked about it. You can go look it up. You're not going to find interviews of them talking about it.
Yeah, but also to say, they count out that couldn't happen again. I think it is. It's just a big miss. Yeah, it could happen.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, anything can be good and anything could work. I mean, we're.
I'm being personally biased. I'm saying if it was me, I'd do it as a TV series because I think that'd be cool. That's all
absolutely.
I mean. I'm not saying I know that like in the industry that would be like a smart decision at all, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think it can go either. Like literally, I think it can go either way. With the right people behind it, with the right vision and the right story, you could pull either off because the first one did it so well. And like I said, I have memories of like going to sleep with my DVD player on watching that first movie. You
couldn't make a TV series with a similar comparative budget of $190 million. That's a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Like it would really need to be a lot less than that.
Yeah.
Right. Like we're talking like, something real low, like 8 episodes at $30 million or $25 million or something like that would be like, fair. It doesn't need to be everything doesn't like Godzilla -1 has taught us all a lesson, hasn't it? Everything doesn't need to be $200 million.
Right. Yeah. As long as it follows the right production schedule. The difference in that is they filmed that with that in mind. The American film industry is wasteful, very wasteful.
Well, they're learning lessons. Godzilla -1, I think, is really going to leave it an imprint.
And something we talked about on Superhero Slate is, the film industry as a whole ebbs and flows, right? You'll have a high budget tent poles, and then like, oh, here's the low budget ones that are doing really well. Like, what's the company that did Five Nights at Freddy's? That production house, Blumhouse. Blumhouse was huge in their low budget ones. So it ebbs and flows. So we'll see. But I do think there is more Matrix stories to be told, but I don't think we need to revisit these characters at the end of the day, right? I think we can go in a new direction.
Okay. How about a rating and final thoughts? I'll let you start, and then I'll end.
Do you have a rating scale you guys use here on the show?
Oh, let's change it up. We usually do 1 to 10, but since we're doing something different and we've had a fun show, let's just be and you. Let's do 1 to 5. I like that.
1 to 5. Okay. This is tough. I would say to me this is a 2.5.
1 to 10. Okay, all right, go ahead.
2.5 out of 5, and I say this because it suffers from what there are good points and there are bad points. My negatives that why it is not high is it relies too much on nostalgia, and it even flashes nostalgia on the screen. The characters aren't fleshed out. There are no stakes. However, there are great action scenes. I think the main actors, Carrie Ann Moss, Keanu Reeves, really carry it home. Like they're great actors and they're really good in this. So there are highlights and there are lowlights, evening out in just a nice middle of the road movie, which is forgettable, meaning I probably will never rewatch it a third time. Thanks for this.
I'm not going to either. I'm never going to. I do not foresee myself ever having a reason to watch this again. If someone asked me to come on their show and review this again, another show, I'm not going on.
Just send them this video. Just say, play this video instead.
No, seriously, I'm not going on.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I'm just making. I'm letting you know right now, folks, and I stick to my guns. Chris, great job, brother. Way to handle your business like a pro, dude, and rock the shot with me, right? I didn't know Cyber was going to dip early tonight, right? Nobody ever knows when somebody's going to have like bad Wi-Fi issues all of a sudden. Obviously, like Andres didn't expect it, and neither did I, right? Since he was going to host, moderate the show.
Yeah.
But hey, you hung in like a pro, dude.
Well, thank you. It's a good time. It's been a great time to be here. Really, it's fun to talk about this stuff.
Hey, you know what? Good people, good people attract good people, and so shit worked out good. I appreciate you, brother. Way to handle your business. Honestly, it's not everybody can just step up and be able to handle it when the show eviscerates down from 4 or 5 people down to 2. Right, your first time guessing with somebody, right, and roll with it like you have. So, within the insider talk of like the content creation type shit, the game we play, you handle your business, sir.
Yeah, of course.
Just like Mr. Diddy Juice.
I'm about that life. Ask P. Diddy. I just came from his house, even though I'm feeling funny after drinking P. Diddy juice. Wait. What the fuck? What's happening here?
That's for Cyber.
Yeah.
That's Cyber. It's his favorite video clip. That's for him. So, sir, we're going to plug out of here. I've got you pulled up on YouTube, and I've got your podcast pulled up. Where would you like to start? You want to start with the pod or the YouTube channel?
It should be the same. Shouldn't they both Superhero Slate?
Yeah, I can only pull up one at a time though. So which one do you want to start?
Let's do the podcast. So first and foremost, my friend Mike and I, we run a weekly podcast, Superhero Slate News. We've been doing this for almost 10 years. We tune in every Sunday.
Good for you, sir.
Thank you. We to do superhero movie news, TV news. We try to be as do the most journalistic integrity we can, but we love to throw our opinions and facts, and we have a really, really good time with this. So we've been rock and rolling for 10 years. We've got a pretty good show scheduled for this coming Sunday, and then obviously with San Diego Comic-Con coming up, we're excited.
Let me pull up your YouTube. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Absolutely.
I'll pull up your channel. We have time. There's nobody else here but me and you, so.
Absolutely. Well, one of the cool things about running our own show for so long is that we get to toy with different mediums, and one of the things we've been doing every Sunday when we record a show is running a live as well, Superhero Slate on YouTube. And we don't put our faces on here. So see my faces, especially for you guys. We don't normally show our faces on our show since we're an audio first podcast, but we've created animated versions thanks to my co-host Mike. He is a talented artist. So on our channel, you get to see some animated versions of us every Sunday when we record live, or you can come back and watch it. We've been having a good time just testing the waters with YouTube more recently.
Hold on, brother. I'm sorry about that. Something got fucked up. I pulled up your channel, and for some reason, YouTube sent me to like Alyssa Kara's YouTube channel instead of yours. It was like an error. It was weird. I had you pulled up, but here you are right here.
Yeah. No worries. Same thing. Well, thank you. Oh, I can hear playing even right now in the background. There, we got a little theme song going. So
I got rid of it. It's fun, sir.
Yeah, so the live example of what's going on. But yeah, we've been testing out content on YouTube. It's more of a newer thing for us the past year with that. But obviously, if you follow us on anywhere you listen to podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, anything like that, or on YouTube, we do put up our shows on YouTube every week and little clips as well.
Congratulations! Congratulations.
Yeah, we're trying to grow. So obviously,
podcast. That's an achievement, brother.
Yeah, obviously, you guys here at the at your channel the Bleeding Edge is definitely a role model for us. We hope to get to the numbers you guys are doing, and I appreciate you having us on, or at least me.
I'm very blessed. Honestly, I'm very blessed, and I'm very humbled. Like honestly, when I first started on YouTube and podcasting, I wish I would have taken a picture of the index card I had on my wall where I wrote my goals. My goals were very simple, right? This is what I thought I was capable of. Be on YouTube was one.
Yeah.
Be a podcaster was the other. There was no statistical goals or anything like that I had, because I didn't think that things like ever being monetized or having 1,000 subs on YouTube, whatever the fuck, 1,000 plays on a podcast, whatever possible for me.
Yeah.
I didn't know, So basically the people that I did talk to that were already making long form content were like, it's a long game thing.
Yeah.
Right. So I went in very pessimistic almost, I should not expect anything really, to just pop off. So those were my goals. So I've just been humbled as fuck the whole time ever since we, hit any of the benchmarks of getting monetized or, crossing that 1,000 mark. Hopefully coming over with us, Chris, will help your channel, a little bit, right? Or bringing me over. You guys want to invite me over, right? But you'd hope my brand would, would bring over, with our audience and bring some attention over to your channel, maybe, get your stats up a little bit.
Absolutely. My co-host, Mike, he is very blessed. They're about to have their first child next month. So I might be up for some extra co-host stuff as we move through while he adjusts to that time in his life. But I do know, what is exciting next this coming month is Deadpool and Wolverine, the only Marvel movie of this year, right? So we are so excited to get into that.
I enjoy opportunities to do different stuff. Like I've had other creators come in as special guest co-hosts our shows before, right? Like, people that are like my friends in content creation, I've had them come in and host the show. Why not? Right? It's fun. You know what I mean? Like at one point, like Cyber didn't do any of our weekend shows. He did. We used to have a Sunday show too, along with the Friday and the Wednesday and the Monday, and it was all me. I would host on Friday and Sunday and Monday, but it was all me, and then Cyber and I would rotate on Wednesdays. So bi-weekly, I would moderate on Wednesdays, but the other 3 shows were all me hosting. So yeah, I would welcome other creators that I knew to come in and host, right? Just so I could take a break. Yeah. Seriously, because it gets old, you know what I'm saying. But we'd love to have you back. I'd love to see you actually on a TV episode review. I think that would be cool. We're doing the are you a Star Wars fan?
A huge Star Wars fan. I just built a lightsaber at Disneyland 2 weeks ago.
We're covering the Acolyte right now. We're on episode 5. Coming up on episode 5 this Wednesday upcoming. So we still have 4 episodes left, and we're doing Skeleton Crew at the end of the year.
Awesome.
And we have upcoming. Do you fuck with any of the Walking Dead stuff? Like, are you a Walking Dead fan?
We're not Walking Dead people. We've been dabbling in The Boys. I don't know if you guys are covering The Boys or not yet.
No, that's something we're not covering. I've never gotten into The Boys. I've never watched it. No. I know. Don't get me wrong. Don't even get into it. 37,000 different creators have told me. I don't know why you're not watching it.
Yeah. It's one of those shows you don't know, like the people I thought would not like it at all love it, and the people I thought would love it don't like it. So it's definitely one of those shows that really shakes what you think of who watches content these days.
Well, if I was caught up with the show and had they're what season 4?
This is season 4, and it's about halfway through the 8 episodes. Yeah.
If I was able to get caught up hypothetically in a different situation, I would love to come on and cover the show with you guys. But in the meantime, let me know what you have going on, and I'd be happy to come over and and try to handle my business like you have over here. But folks, we're gonna get out of here. We appreciate all of you very much. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Those of you who catch us in video, audio form, make sure that you consider following us, rating Chris's podcast, right? Dropping a review, all that good stuff. Subscribe. We like that. Turn on the notifications on our YouTube channel is always good. In the meantime, God bless all of you. God bless Chris. We appreciate it. Thank you, Chris, for coming on.
Absolutely.
Your business. I have nothing but applause for you, sir, and Superhero Slate. Andres, we love you, brother. And Cyber, I'll talk to you tomorrow, dude. All right, folks. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday night for the House of the Dragon, episode 3, with Andres, the pop culture guy, Dom, Jermaine from Fantasy's Reality, this YouTube channel, and this whole team coming back over to the Bleeding Edge for episode 3 of the House of the Dragon season 2. Shit's gonna be dope. It's gonna be fire. Let's get it. All right. Peace.
Hey, yo, Jay. Can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and read it, you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't